all mine. I've got a uh, phone, let's see here, a tablet, and a laptop. But the laptop's a Chromebook, and I got to remind everybody: do never buy a frickin' Chromebook.
I think everybody
It's
knows
like
that.
it's the top of the line Chromebook, and it does nothing that I need it to do. It's
All right,
the Samsung Chrome Pro or some Ultra Pro Chrome. No diggity.
No doubt. No diggity. I'm trying to get this jive sent over to Facebook, and I can't find the link.
Oh, this is exciting.
Yeah, it is.
So, hey, babies. I'll make it exciting. Oh, titties.
Nobody's watching yet. So we're good. So
no,
far.
They're not going to. Well, good. But they'll watch the replay, and they'll see some Cleveland. Little cleavage here. I like to wear the Cleveland shirt. Now, I had somebody ask me why I'm always wearing the same exact tank top. I've owned 9 of these. I bought a pack of 9, and this is my undershirt. This isn't like what I'm wearing.
Who asked you? You don't lie. Who asked you?
No, Gay Allen at work, who's a fantastic human being, and we didn't want to offend people, so you cut out all of the new episode coming up, the season 3 premiere of Wrestling with Ghosts on Asai TV. Use promo code Funky when you sign up on Roku. We had to, you made the executive decision, and I agree with you, but I hate that I agree with you. Gay Allen was a joke, and Gay Allen is a gay man named Allen who loves the name Gay Allen. He loves the rib. He's a really quality human being. But just because we understand that we have a inside term of endearment with our friend, that other people would take offense to it. We just had to cut it out, which sucks because he really wanted it in there, and every time that we said, we're doing EVP sessions, and we're just like, and what do you think of Gay Allen? And we were yelling it at people down the street and stuff, but he wanted us to put a disclaimer up there. It said, Gay Allen fully endorses the use of Gay Allen. And, but yeah, you're right. People wouldn't, it said it's a term of endearment amongst friends, but he wouldn't. Most people would just be, you can't say that.
All that would do is alienate our fan base that we're struggling to assemble as it is anyway. I mean, we are in such a touchy, weird, everybody gets their feelings hurt. I mean, there's people getting vitriolic about wearing masks.
Yeah.
I actually was in a public place yesterday. My family walks in. We have a mask on. Well, we all have masks on. We don't have one communal mask. That would be weird.
That'd be like two heads in one big T-shirt type deal.
Right. But people were like looking and snickering, and it's just like, what? God, people just have to have opinions about shit, and they have to be right, and they have to be grumpy, and so you can't right now. Right now is not the time to put Gay Allen in anything.
Yeah, well, and I love the mask thing with everybody. You're a sheep. You're just doing what the government tells you to do. I was like, look, man, I can wear. I have this new mask I just got that's got the Norse Thor hammer on it, Mjolnir. Not the one from the movies. The new the old.
What's the difference?
The new one looks like that. That's the Marvel one, and the old one doesn't even look barely anything like a hammer. It's
like a ball peen. It's like a claw hammer or something.
Not even. It's like an old mason hammer, but it doesn't look anything like that. But that's my new mask. So, and I think it looks badass. And before then, I was wearing bandanas, and I wear a bandana over my face if I can. That looks pretty cool, and it also hides the fact that from here down, I'm not that attractive.
Or that they're up. But
yeah.
I've always thought it was cool to walk into a store with a mask on. I've been dreaming of that for years without getting shot, and now everybody's acting. And I get it. I get people, they exercise their freedom, but I don't. To me, it's just being rude as shit. Because The point is, and I guess a lot of people have lost the plot or they weren't paying attention when it first happened, but the point is you can be asymptomatic to this virus nobody knew anything about for 2 weeks. And it's really, if you have it, that's what you're trying to block, is to give it to somebody else. I heard the example. It's like, if we're going outside and everybody's naked and you're worried about getting urinated upon, right?
Yeah, which I am.
If you wore blue jeans, it could help you a little bit. But again, if somebody's urinating straight on your blue jeans, it's going to soak through. The better alternative is if that guy is wearing blue jeans and you are. And that way he'd have to like do some grind action on your hip for you to get any PP through the double blue jean penetration. And then the best way to avoid getting urinated on by a stranger is just don't go outside.
Or urinate first. You be the instigator of the urination. Now, I put something on Facebook about a week ago about the mask debate. I wear one when I'm supposed to,
right?
Because I'm a sheeple. I'm a Sherpson. That's not why I wear the mask. I wear the mask because one, my job, my part-time job requires it, and two, I'm protecting you from me. I mean, I don't know. I don't think I have COVID, but I don't know. But it's also just it's a courtesy. But if people are arguing about masks, if you're just up in arms and arguing and yelling and screaming about masks, you got a pretty good life.
Amen, brother. That's if we have time to get in a knife fight over wearing masks, we're not to the end of days yet. If you catch my drift, like a lot of people are worried about. Well, on a positive, I'm very tired. I've been up all night working on Wrestling with Ghosts. I worked on the intro. Justin Thompson, who's Candy's special fella, helped make a new intro, which I think is badass. I uploaded one at about 4 a.m, and then I looked at it, and I was like, it's missing some panache. And I spent a lot of the day working on that. Have you seen the new one?
I didn't see the new one yet. I saw the one you did just a little while ago.
The 4 a.m. gimmick?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I didn't see the one you sent at 4 a.m. I saw the first one you sent before you added you said you made some tweaks to it. So I'm looking forward to watching it, but I got off work and went over to the Carver's Apple Farm and ate some chicken and dumplings. So that's pretty much all I've done.
Yeah.
Hadn't had time to do nothing else.
I've been working my ass off. Thank you very much. And I had a Little Caesars that broke a piece of my tooth off.
Jesus.
That's one thing about being a pro wrestler is people are like, oh, I want to wrestle. It's like I took 2 clotheslines from Jerry Lee, when I was 32, and they cracked 3 teeth over those 2 clotheslines in one match. No, 2 matches. And my teeth are still cracking over those things. I spit one part of my tooth in his ear as he was trying to pin me at one point. I thought that was funny. It kind of went right into the little ear hole, which I thought was cute. Hey, have a cigarette.
I'm going to. Well, I've got a wrestling match that you can get involved in on a Saturday night before the big day Sunday. So that's you're supposed to be there for this.
If you get injured in a wrestling match before we go shoot a movie Sunday, I'm going to punch you in the penis.
Got to be honest with you. Like I do anything in a wrestling match. How am I going to get hurt?
Do you want to talk about the last couple of years?
Well, I mean, okay, so I broke my solar plexus. That's just a freak accident. And then I pulled my calf muscle out, but why would I be throwing a drop kick without stretching? That was just stupid. So I'll stretch this time, and I'll be fine when I throw a drop kick at a 7-footer.
Are you smarter than you used to be?
I've learned lessons and learned from those lessons. Smarter? That's subjective. That's subjective.
Hey, you were telling me a while ago you were having some mental problems. Now that you've changed your diet.
Oh, go on. I was having a lot of brain fog is what I was having. And,
all gone?
All gone. Ever since I stopped with all the sugar, you got to realize that. I mean, I was basically my veins were pumping Dr. Pepper and Necco wafers. Now I'm pumping blood. So my brain flows
blood?
better. I do. I do. I eat
Are
plenty of
you a
blood.
vampire? Is that why is that why everybody on the team looks great now?
It's cow's blood. So.
Oh.
Yeah.
You're a weenie vampire. You're a sheeple vampire.
I'm a Sherpson.
You're a liberal vampire. You don't kill people.
Yeah, it's funny. I still just think it's hilarious that, the last thing we were doing with Netflix got botched because me and you who are not liberals were too left wing. That just kills me. That
we weren't even left wing. I was standing up for liberty. I was just going against what Goofball was doing, but that's what's weird is I did email Hit and Run Productions today.
Did you?
Yeah,
I did too. Twice, and they never responded to me.
Today?
No, just in the past 2 months. But
I have a little bit of an angle. I'm going to see if that works. I want to see what happened, but I've got a little bit of a gimmick for them.
It was cool. I can't remember the showrunner's name that they sent down to us, but I mean, he's a renowned guy that we sat and talked with. And
Jerry.
He was, Jerry, and he was. I described him as Funkmaster V if you lived in New York, because you're wearing a Sho'nuff shirt, and from The Last Dragon, and he looks at you and he pulls out his phone and he shows you a video of his kid wearing the Sho'nuff glasses and saying, "Who's the master?" And I'm like, and you guys were. It's weird, it's like at 12 years old, you guys were twins and went separate directions. But I mean, he's a pretty renowned guy. I mean, he's the one that came up with Pawn Stars and not Storage Wars. He did Storage Wars, but he didn't come up with it. But he also came up with the other one, the American Pickers.
That's before he started Hit and Run, I guess, after all that, right?
Yeah. He
branched
branched off and did his own stuff. But he was a good guy, and he really liked you, and he really liked me. But I just think that the angle they're going with that show was with the other guy. So
nobody likes me or you. We did a podcast yesterday, and I swear somebody in the chat room. They said you were disrespectful to the dead and unsanitary, and I think I'm going to put that on my epitaph.
Yeah, that's going to be on your headstone. That's disrespectful
to the dead, unsanitary. Beautiful.
Well, and that goes with our paranormal thing. Is why would we treat ghosts any different than we treat people? And we rib people. That's what I've got this Italian kiddo at my part time, and his name's Zach, and he understands. He's got the accent. He's, "Hey, what are you doing?" He's just a kid. He's like 20 years old.
Where's he from?
I think they're from Jersey. Okay. And he understands busting chops, man.
Right.
He understands breaking balls. And
right.
I when I get around people that truly understand breaking balls, because up in Chicago, that's just how you live. Up in New York and Baltimore and Jersey and stuff, that's how you live. You bust each other's chops all day.
Right.
And down here and most of America, apparently, that's not a form of communication. That's not a term of endearment. That's not a sign of friendship when you bust each other's chops.
A rite of passage. But when you bust somebody's balls, you're helping them get ready for life when they go up against an enemy or an adversary or somebody wants something bad. They gotta be able to take shit. And that's what you're trying to help them do. That's when busting balls is almost like it's like school on how to be a man.
Well, that's when Goodfellas came out, and everybody. I didn't realize until I watched it, or I was talking about it with somebody that's not from Italianish kind of place. Was that when the dude's giving Joe Pesci shit about the Shine Box? Look at that,
Lenny Kravitz again.
Oh. When he's given Joe Pesci shit about the Shine Box and stuff, and Joe Pesci gets mad. Joe Pesci was the one out of line there, and everybody thinks that that the other dude was out of line for busting Joe Pesci's chops, but that's not how it was, man. Joe Pesci was out of line. Joe Pesci deserved to die for for them whacking that dude, because Joe Pesci was out of line because he couldn't take busting chops, and which is weird because he was the biggest ball buster of all of them. And then you turn it around, and that was kind of the thing that, he was he was, shot the dude in the foot and everything, made him dance and all that. And he's busted everybody's chops, but man, he couldn't take it.
Well, I mean, it's one of those movies where, a lot of people think that when they watch a star in a movie that you're supposed to emulate or empathize with these people. But to be honest, I mean, he was somebody you should have abhorred. It's a movie about this is how you're not supposed to operate.
Yeah.
But I gotta love the line. Got a dog looking this way, a dog looking that way, and a guy in the middle going, "Hey, what do you want from me?"
Hey, what do you want from me? And that I kind of watched a little bit of that. I watched Goodfellas up until Layla plays, and then once Layla plays, the movie goes downhill. I think I don't like the last half hour, 45 minutes of the movie.
I'm not a big fan of the movie. Period. And I know that's sacrilegious for being a guy like I am and stuff, but in filmmaker school or directorial 101, I've always heard that if you have narration, it's the cheapest way to tell a story.
Yeah. Well, I see. I like movies are weird like that. There's some of like Goodfellas. Like I said, once Layla plays, I don't like the movie. Full Metal Jacket is my favorite movie until Vincent D'Onofrio kills himself. And then
it's two different movies.
Yeah, the first half of that movie would be my favorite movie if it kept going. It's the same thing with the Tarantino movies. Let's just take Pulp Fiction for example. I love everything in Pulp Fiction unless Uma Thurman's on the screen. Everything that Uma Thurman is in that I hate. I don't know why.
That's because you're weird.
There's nothing against her as an actress or anything. It's just all those scenes just annoyed me. But speaking of Tarantino, now me and you were talking yesterday about our movie, The Hike, which starts filming Sunday. Pre-production is finished, but we are actually last minute adding dialogue.
You know who you kind of like when you said that, right? Talking about No, I've never even met Gay Allen, so I can't even.
He's a hell of a guy, man. He's a hell of a guy.
No, you sound like the twerp pre-production.
Oh,
anyway,
pre-production on my book and our movie, a major studio movie. No, we're doing. Well, anyway, we're starting filming Sunday, but I realized reading through the script again that it's just not. It's a great script, and I really, really love the twists and turns and the depth and the detail and the continuity, but it's not big and funky enough. I want us to add just a couple Tarantino style dialogues that have nothing, basically pull from conversations we've had or weird things that have happened. No, stop drinking whiskey on.
Oh, can you see that? I thought when you talked, you couldn't see me. I'm sorry.
No, we want to add some just funny conversations or insights type conversations to kind of big and funky the movie up, because it's going to be the first big and funky movie, but it stars all of us, but not in roles that are us. And, I kind of always wanted everything to be like when I write music, every song I write is a semi-autobiography. And I want the movie to kind of be the same. I want your character to be you in this situation, and you walking around in the woods, you'd be talking shit. You'd be talking about furries. You'd be talking about pimps. You'd be talking about the book Pimp. You'd be talking about all this other stuff. You wouldn't be walking around just talking about the narrative to the movie.
I'm gonna be talking. This is going to happen Sunday, and when we shoot this, it's going to take about a month. But I'm gonna be talking about my feet. I'm going to be talking about sweat. I'm going to be talking about mosquitoes. I think camping's crazy. I don't know why anybody wants to hike.
Yeah.
I'm hot now, and I'm in air conditioning.
And I also kind of dig that season 3 premiere that's available in a week, July 15th on ASY TV, Asai TV. Going to be on Roku, Fire Stick, and Apple TV. I think that it's really cool that the season 3 premiere is almost a prequel to the movie.
It could be viewed as a companion piece. I wonder if it's going to be confusing.
I think what we should do is, if we do release like a DVD Blu-ray type deal, which I think we definitely should, because I think that's going to be I said this and you did. I didn't say this around you because I know me and you have different outlooks on this, but this if Netflix buys this and puts it on, or somebody picks it up and they put it in theaters, that doesn't interest me anywhere as much as us hustling, doing, taking a road trip, showing it at film festivals. And that interests me. Us going out and selling the movie, a view at a time interests me. Selling it to one person who gives us whatever amount of money, I mean, that's nice. Yeah, that'd be great. But then it's not our movie anymore.
Well, we're definitely going to have a conversation because just because of my touring of music, I know what it's like to have. It's like wrestling too, but it's also like music. You can go. Just the perfect storm happens and the right word of mouth, and you go into a town and you play in front of hundreds of people, and then you're excited. You're like, we got it. We got it figured out. This is going to work. Rock and roll time. And then you go roll into Wichita Falls, Texas, and you're playing in front of the doorman and some cracked out waitress, and that's it. And you're like, I drove 9 hours for this. It's I don't know. When I was in my 20s, I could swing that. Now that I'm in my mid 40s, if somebody wants to come and give me a check for X amount, I may be sitting there going, Luke.
Well, to me, I think
let's say, because this is not the end of the movies. This is the reason we're doing a movie like this, and I think this movie's great, and the story's great because it's basically it's true stories for the most part. Just a little bit of little magic thrown in.
Embellishment and
just to make it a little bit more sexy, but a little sexier. What is it? Sexier or more sexy? But anyway, I when we get done with this, we got higher goals and other movies to make and other things to do, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah. I would just basically, like nobody goes to Cannes Film Festival with a sold movie. They go to film festivals to sell movies. I really do want to just, even if it's just, like we start in October, November, December, and just go to different conventions, horror conventions, different theaters, and do Q&As and stuff like that. And then we sell the movie in January. Fine. But I want it to be our movie for a while, because I've seen other people say the same thing. Is once they sell their movie, they're basically, they go to premiere. The studio invites them to the premiere of their own movie, and then you have nothing to do with that from then on. Even the Russo brothers were talking about that they they feel almost like when they delivered all their Marvel movies, they said that it felt like they were giving their babies away. And then they weren't theirs anymore. There's
pros and cons to each. I mean, the fact that none of us are world famous actors and we're in this movie, it's going to be hard to sell. So that's a point for you, to the actual schlepping around and renting out small little, what's the face for?
Not world famous. Do you realize we have almost 800 subscribers on YouTube?
They're from all over the world.
And what's funny is people would kill for that many subscribers. It's just
some people, what's funny is when you're at 800, it's still nothing. And then you go to a lot of people, you go to a lot of people's who are talented people and funny or whatever. And you're like, you've got 38 subscribers. It's a freaking knife fight to get people to subscribe to YouTube. And I think it's mainly correlated from the fact that Facebook blocks YouTube links.
Yeah,
and
it doesn't share them as much as they should.
And Instagram blocks. And there's a new thing out that starts with a D. Is your daughter on it?
Probably.
Discord.
Mikey is. Mikey plays his Minecraft and Roblox on Discord.
Discord's a new one. That's something we should look into. But that's the problem when you're our age, and that's the problem with us being our age anyway, is because our mind is like, if I make a good TV show, it's going to get picked up. Well, we've learned that doesn't necessarily mean anything, and that the entertainment industry and everything about television has changed so much in the last 5 years. And I should have, instead of wasting time in pro wrestling and playing music in clubs for so many years, I should have been in television back then, and by now I might have a freaking clue.
Well,
but even then, it changes.
And how many people do you know that are hard acquaintances for years? I had one just the other day that was like, "Oh, you make a TV show?" You know,
Right.
how many of our friends and acquaintances have no idea? What do you mean you hunt ghosts and you make a web series? What? I know. How come I didn't know this? I was like, I don't know. I only post about it daily.
Well, there's a guy that works up there. I don't really know him, but he's on my Facebook feed. But he saw one of the videos where I'm wearing a mink coat, and he said, "Hey, that's a great idea. Who came up with that?" And I was like, "I've been wearing a mink coat since 2011, or whatever." So, I mean, where you been?
You stole it from that old lady.
Yeah. Well, that lady's still in the middle of Martin Luther King Avenue in Knoxville, looking for it.
Hey, just throw it out there. AEW comes on later tonight, and I've got a friend, Melanie Cruz, that's signed there, and our girl Kenzie that we used to wrestle with at KFW. We're good friends with her uncle and her dad. She's supposed to be on again tonight, so anybody who likes wrestling.
Kenzie's going to be on.
Allegedly, I'm going to record it and watch. Tommy was being cryptic about it, like he didn't know if she was or not. But I think it'd be cool. I think that girl's got a lot of talent. I just hope the wrong people don't get in her ear, because I've seen a lot of people her age that have come up and been really talented, and then people start getting in their ear. And when people will see this is a rising star, so they'll try to glom onto it. Yeah. And they can destroy that real easily. And the problem with the world as it is, and especially the world of wrestling and music as it has been, the key word in where it could be her downfall is the word her. Because women have a tough road to hoe in wrestling. I mean, I think the world has changed a lot with the Me Too movement and everything. But man, I've seen disgusting stuff, and almost every girl that made it to the top has had to go through some disgusting hoops,
like Louis C.K. type stuff.
No, much worse than that. Much worse. Than
right,
that.
But I just mean that vein of grossness. You're supposed to be a professional, and you're treated differently. Well,
yeah.
I'll go out on a limb, and I'll just tell you this. There's been 4 people ever since I've been wrestling in East Tennessee, only 4. Well, one's a tag team, but there's only been 4 people that I thought could be world famous. Now, I know a lot in the sport of pro wrestling, and I've got a lot of friends that wrestle. You wrestle. I'm not on that list. You're not on that list, and for various reasons.
Well,
but and it was no slight to anybody, but most of the better wrestlers in this area were under 5'8", and that's you're not going to be a world champion for big time money if you're shorter than the ring announcer. It's just not going to happen with the WWE, and it's a shame. You should be able to go anywhere and wrestle and stuff. And
I thought a guy like Austin Knight really could have.
No, guy couldn't talk.
Yeah, if we'd have worked with him, I said I think he had the potential to go.
That. No.
Yeah, we did work with him a lot.
We worked with that guy. Now he's a good. One of my favorite matches I ever had on camera was with him on the Great American Wrestling. I thought that was he was a good wrestler. I'm not sliding anybody. Like if somebody gets pissed off, they always get pissed off at me for some reason. But
except for Shane Daniels, he you say something bad and he gets mad at me. I don't know.
He don't like you. Me and him have a history. I found that guy chopping down trees in Jefferson County at roller rink or something out there. I brought him into Knoxville. Let's see. Oh, somebody said it's Mama Angel Meadows says, "Hello, gents. Sorry I'm late." Well, it's okay, baby doll.
I did her show on Sunday, and it was fantastic. We had a great time.
Oh, well,
we've done scandalous.
We've done 4 straight podcasts in 4 days.
This is scandalous.
That's a good show, by the way.
Mama D's husband is black. Oh my God.
He's gay too, but she don't know that yet.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. But so here since we're just jive talking, we got about 20 minutes or so left for this, but
hey man, we can go as long or short as
I'm
we want.
tired. I've been up since 4, actually since like 2 in the morning working on Wrestling with Ghosts, and I'm pooped. I feel like my energy is falling out of the back of my rear end. But the four people around here that I thought, yes, I'll do. I love talking. My energy's a little down today, Mama D, but I am a rock and roller, funk master from another planet. I will talk your ear off. Is she from Canada? Is she a Canadian podcaster?
Oh, Swarry. Yeah, she's Canadian.
Oh, she's one of them. I still do it. I'm just kidding. But so anyway, Kinsey, I thought had it. And it was something about, I don't know if it's because I'm a father, but I saw Kinsey and she looked like a little girl. And I think she can keep those little girl looks for years.
Yeah.
And I think when you're a little girl, you're always going to be, and she wears pink, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
She always looks, you're always going to want to protect her. So that automatically, your sympathy, you're going to have sympathy for her. I thought the twins, Brandon and Brett, were very unique. They were tiny, and they've done about what I thought they would do. They've done well. They look like $1 million. I loved them when they had the afros, by the way. They were always nice in the back. They would listen to me every word that I would say, and they could have just told me to jump off a bridge. I thought those guys were going to make it. I always thought Chase Owens' work ethic was really good, and he's done what he's done. And I'm proud of that.
Bullet Club member. Yeah. Goes to Japan.
He's not the greatest on the mic, and that's probably what's going to be his downfall. But he's the one thing he does have over everybody else is I think he's 6 foot, so he's a little bit taller than a lot of the guys around here. And I always thought he could have.
And he looks real actually bigger than he is. He's one of those guys that, he probably is. He's probably 5'10", 200, but if he looks, and when he's in a ring, he looks like he's 6'3", 220.
And that's important too, to have that deception. And I thought Chase Owens, and I know a lot of people don't, people are grumpy at him right now or whatever. And I'm not talking about anything that he's done. I'm just saying, just from a wrestling aspect. And the fourth guy was Alan Shepard. Did you know Alan Shepard?
I don't think I did.
Alan Shepard was around before you. He was tall. He was about 6'1", 6'2".
After me.
Good looking guy. Yeah, before you came back. Good looking guy. Could talk okay, but had a really good. He had a really good work rate. He wasn't the best on the mic. His tag team partner Nick Taylor was fantastic on the mic.
Yeah, I know Nick. Nick's good. Nick's good on the stick.
Nick's a good wrestler too. I think Nick's a good looking guy. He probably could have done it too if he had some.
Well, a lot of these guys
better direction.
A lot of these guys suffer that I think have potential. Also, when I tell them why I didn't make it. And I was hoping they'd listen is because I was not interested in dieting, and you got to look the part. I can't tell you how many times, like Jim Ross said straight up to me, you got to work on your arms and lose a lot of that weight. Yeah. And I was at the time, I probably had maybe 30 extra pounds on, and he told me I was fat, and I was probably, 6'8", 290 with good more muscle, a lot more muscle than I have now because I was shooting the juice, but and I was still too fat for him. So these guys got to realize they want bodies. They want Jim Burke should make it.
Yeah. I think everybody does now.
Jim Burke is a guy that I think Draven Lee. I think that guy's got. There's somewhere he should be. Like he should be in AEW or something like that, just because the guy's got that look, the muscle size, and he's your size height wise, but the guy is jacked to the moon. The guy can work his butt off, but I don't know why it's nobody's taking notice of him. It's kind of a strange thing.
There's a hierarchy in wrestling. If you have. It's who you know. It's just like everything. Yeah. It's who you know. It's who you pal around with, and you can have some more fun if you have friends and if you have connections with people who actually can get you into situations. Because there's a million great wrestlers that have no idea. They think putting on particular type matches, putting stuff on YouTube, or making a bunch of dates, going to in front of 16 people from town to town to town. They think that makes it. It's really who you know. Once you get all the crap down, like work rate, your look, and being able to do stick work, once you get all that jive down, then you'll have some opportunities. But otherwise, you're just a band in a bar that nobody goes to, playing great songs that nobody's going to hear.
Yeah, I think
you got to figure out how to market yourself.
I think Jim Burke needs to get around, work around a lot with Brad Cash, do a lot of those Georgia shows with Jack Lord and Noah Tall, Scott Helmsley, guys
what
like
would that do for Jim?
Well, you get a lot more eyes on you out of the Atlanta area than you do out of East Tennessee. That's a lot of guys have come out of that Atlanta area and gotten eyes on them. I just think East Tennessee might be the wrong fit for a guy like that, because there's really, Kenzie got seen because they were bringing in a lot of top female wrestlers to work with her, and then she was young enough in the business where she could go to Dr. Tom Pritchard and Kane's wrestling school.
That's it. So, I mean, Dr. Tom, that's the problem with Jim now, is Jim's old. I don't know how old Jim is, but he's probably 30, 35, isn't he?
I think I don't even know if he's 30 yet, but he's too far along in the business to go to a beginner's wrestling school.
He's just not going to have. He's just going to. It's just going to be hard for, and it not slide on Jim. I don't know why you keep bringing up Jim, but just all these guys.
I really like the guy, and I think he should, with his look and everything, and his dedication to the sport, I think he should get noticed.
To me, I think everybody around here should have got noticed, and we tried, and they shit on what we tried to do for them, and
that's true.
Screw them. So they can jump out the goddamn window. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, that was great, man.
We tried to make everybody around here look awesome, and nobody understood what we were doing, and we got fired, and so be it.
I love that everybody looks at that Fox show. You guys were, I even had that one mullet-headed dork trying to tell me that I'm part owner and you take a dump on this, you're taking a dump on me. I was like, I'll take a dump on you, you fool. You were a mark that was used because you had a ring by the owner of the company. Part owner or whatever. Mark. Yeah, it was a money mark.
And he was probably a sexual predator too.
Yeah, and we wrote the show. You edited the show, and everybody complained about it being the big and funky show. Well, we tried all our butts to get everybody involved, and nobody wanted to.
Well, nobody knew what I was getting. The footage and the audio that I was getting every week, there were weeks where one of the announcers was not recorded. One was, and the other guy was not. These people drove, like one guy drove from Memphis to do color commentary to Knoxville.
And that was a great guy, man. I wish we were still friends with him. I don't know what happened to him.
He probably got out of wrestling and is living his best life. But, so I'd have to call Mark Green and somebody else and say, we got to redo commentary this week. And after a while, everybody started getting pissed off. They're like, why do we have to keep doing stuff? And I'm like, it's not me, baby.
Yeah.
I'm getting what I'm polishing turds.
Yeah.
The first match that I had to put on the air, man, the sound it sounded like we were watching something through a time travel tunnel, like a kaleidoscope. The death row inmates were slamming people, and you didn't hear the noise until like 10 seconds later. And I had to take the audio and I spent an hour trying to make a 5-minute match where it looked TV quality. We learned a lot, though. That was, that was a lightning. That was a lightning bolt in a bottle, and everybody in this area screwed that up. So,
and not to put you over, you took that what you learned there in the most difficult of. Like master editors wouldn't have been able to do what you did with that show. But you took that magic and turned it into Wrestling with Ghosts. And we always goof around about, how horrible the first season or the first half of the first season looks. That wasn't you. That was the cameras. You work magic with that stuff. We were talking about it yesterday where this movie coming up, I'm the director. I'm directing the movie. But you are the person that's actually putting the movie. You're the editor. And the editor is the person that actually makes the movie. I'm directing it. You're making it.
We were talking about that the other day. The editor makes the show. You know,
Yeah.
the director shoots, but the editor never gets, credit or whatever. And it's weird. You never think, but when you're sitting here slaving away on a computer and what you do editing wise is the actual voice. I'm taking what I'm seeing, and then then I'm making the product. Do I add humor here? Do I add seriousness? The music and all this shit. It's wild.
Yeah, most of the stuff that we do, I direct. A lot of it, like our skits and stuff. A lot of it I write. You write a lot of it, but. I never consider any of it mine, because as soon as I always hand it to you to edit, and I just can't wait to see what you do with what I directed on scene. We've been sitting on this Hales Bar Dam episode. We did that almost a year and a half ago.
About a year ago.
I was a year in February. So we're close. We're getting close to a year and a half, and I can't wait to see what you did with it. I can't wait to hear what you wrote, because you write the narration that Vito Tomaselli does. I can't wait to see what you've done with this, because this is going to be, we had a definite way that we wanted the episode 3 to go, or season 3 premiere to go, which will be available on
ASY television,
ASY TV. It's going to be on Roku and Fire Stick and Apple TV. Use the promo code Funky when you subscribe. But we, you had all this stuff, an idea of what we wanted to do when we filmed it. The evidence takes us where it goes. The investigation takes us where it goes. But just you work magic with that stuff. I don't, you take a bit that I did that I thought was pretty funny, and then you add 30 seconds to it and make it a million times funnier. The dumbest thing we did, the most big and funky thing we've ever done, was Taint My Ride.
I put a lot of work into that one.
Yeah, Pimp My Taint. And it was funny for some reason, we were driving to Jersey, and we were, long drives, me, Candy, you, Travis, and G. And we're driving to Jersey, and for some reason, a conversation started about taints, because that's, what people do. And you said something about Pimp My Taint, and I laughed for 10 minutes.
I've never heard you make that noise before. And
then an hour later, we're standing behind a strip mall pizza joint somewhere near Baltimore, filming that bit. And I'm like, there's no way this is going to be good. And it was amazing. The best thing is, I thought the Pokemon bit was going to suck. And I laughed so hard at that.
I can tell when you don't want to make something. You're just like, yeah. And there's the one, I'm telling you, the one that I want to do at the bus stop is going to be hilarious when I'm done with it. We got to shoot that. You got to trust me on that. Let's say you come up with stuff too that I'm like, oh, is that really your best work there? And then when you're done, I'm like, you know what? Luke's pretty funny. The thing that about me and you doing, of all the stuff we do with movies and wrestling and ghost shows and all this crap, my favorite thing we do is the comedy shit. I love that stuff.
And that's why I think we need to designate a TV show to that. We need to just do a variety show with our comedy bits.
All we have to do for that would be so easy to do. We just need to rent 3 Jimmys one night, or just get up there on a Monday and get about 15 people in the audience, do the whole Chappelle Key and Peele thing. We're like, hey folks, you ever think about Tim Capello, or whatever, and just go into the different bits, like you do 2 a thing, and we'll have like 9 bits a thing. But the Pokemon thing, I think, I loved it, man. That was I don't even like Pokemon, but I thought that skit was hilarious. But my humor is more avant-garde, more Mr. Show with Bob and David, and you're more Letterkenny. You're
I like intelligent fart jokes.
Yeah, you like 50 Cent words telling a fart joke is kind of was, and together we make some pretty good stuff, man. I think it's a good
smart farts. All right, we just coined a term. I like smart farts.
That's you.
No, I think that'd be another thing, since like with this podcast, we were on Paramania Radio before, and we were kind of restricted in what we could talk about because one, because of time constraints, two, because we had to go to break, and three, because there's a paranormal network where we had to constantly think of something to talk about out of our wheelhouse. And I do think, and the first guy we talked to in Hollywood, Harlan Friedman, he told us straight up that he sees us going somewhere, but it's not in the paranormal world. And I think that maybe we not give up on the paranormal stuff because it gives us a great excuse to go hang out with each other out in the woods and abandoned houses and stuff. But we do probably need to start concentrating more on after this movie's done, waiting for to get funding for the next one. Is we need to start working on our comedy.
Well, the secret to all this is the reason that we do paranormal television. It's the cheapest television to make that I know of that's interesting. Yeah. And the thing that I like about paranormal television is it's not just entertainment. There is some sort of pseudoscience or soft science where you're record keeping possible paranormal events. And again, not to schlub it off, but when we go out there, you haven't even seen these last two episodes, man. When we go out there, stuff goes haywire. There's unexplainable, illogical things that I'm a former atheist, and I'm sitting there saying, I'm hearing growls, groans, farts, that something's grabbing my junk. Things are happening when we get together. So, I mean,
well, and that's a good venue for us as pro wrestlers and comedians is to throw us being scared. I mean, it's a good dichotomy,
Like I said this when we were on the Hat Witch podcast last night. The show coming up, episode 1 of season 3, which is going to be on ASY television. Make sure you use that promo code Funky. It's going to be on Roku, Fire Stick, and Apple TV, y'all. So check that out on July 15th. But when you see and I was going to tell you this too. You're talking about the quality of first season.
Yeah.
Hell's Bar Dam is a great episode. Frickin' the Spearfinger episode looks like we're shooting the footage with outer space cameras, like the Hubble telescope and Lucasfilm, dude. I mean, it looks like the real deal. Even Hell's Bar Dam, even though it was only about a year and 4 months ago, we were not as adept with making TV as we are now.
Well, and I'll tell the secret.
And that was last year.
Yeah. I will tell the secret that most people, if you want to make a paranormal, if you want to do anything, almost everything we filmed up until March of this year, where we haven't filmed much since, has been recorded on Samsung Galaxy Note telephones. That's been our camera setup. Is my Samsung Galaxy Note 8.
The best looking footage
and 9
that we even had back in 2015 when we were doing the show for Fox were not these gigantic $30,000 cameras that Fox wanted us to use. It's when we were using whatever cell phone was the latest back then. And it
was my Note 5 that we filmed all that on.
Yeah, and it looked like $1 million. Yeah.
But so, now we've got the expensive cameras, and I'm learning that because I've spent every minute I've had just fan off with it. There you go. That's how Funkmaster rolls. No, I've spent every free minute I've had over the last two or 3 days doing what independent filmmakers do. I've been charging batteries. Now the problem with carrying around these cameras that I bought is I'm also carrying around about an extra 30 pounds worth of batteries and backup batteries and power sources. And that's going to be a pain in the tuchus, because it was nice just having a gimbal and that I hooked my phone into. And then if you saw something, you could pick up your iPhone real quick and record it as well. But now, I mean, it's going to be a different beast with these, I've got 7 tripods, 8 different lights, I've got monitors, I've got soundboards, I've got, all this crap I got to carry around.
Well,
so,
I told you this the other day. I was watching late night Netflix as a break between all this production crap we've been doing. I was watching
Monty Python,
and it was behind the scenes. I was wanting to see the Holy Grail and it was a behind the scenes, and it was how shitty it was to film the Holy Grail, and I was watching them. They got angry at each other, and they were forgetting things, and I never knew this, but they wouldn't have been able to make a movie except like Pink Floyd and Led Zeppelin funded the movie. It was pretty wild.
Yeah, I think it was Nick Mason of Pink Floyd was like one of their biggest money contributors.
Yeah, he was a money mark. And it's funny now to think that Monty Python needed rock and roll money, but I'm just sitting there, I was getting nervous. I was like, oh my God, this is happening Sunday. And there's just a lot of stuff that people don't realize. They think you make a movie and it's just you sit in a nice set, and the thing that we're going to shoot Sunday, there's going to be a lot of sweat and chafing and blisters and
it's going to be 90 degrees out in July, and we're going to be out in the middle of the woods, 25 miles from the nearest air conditioner.
Right.
That's how. But the thing that you said you got a little nervous, because things fell apart, but they had, full. I don't understand, and that's why I think it's great that we came. We are do-it-yourself kind of filmmakers. We've always have been. We've always been, low budget entertainers. Is because they had full crews on set. They had dolly grips and all these things that I'm like, why do you need any of that?
Well, their movie was going to be a little bit more. I mean, the Holy Grail is going to be a little bit more. Well, not a little bit, but it's going to be more involved. I mean, they had catapult scenes and.
Yeah, but I mean, we're not doing any of that. We don't have two different directors. We don't have producers standing around. You're one of the producers and the editor, and you're going to be on film on film, I guess is what you say now. But you're going to be on camera almost the entire thing, and you're one of the producers. So you don't have to worry about you yelling at me and us getting into a fight because we all wrote this together. And we share the same vision.
I'm not really worried about me and you getting into a fight, but I'm just afraid that.
Except for when we get into a fight, spoilers.
But I'm just afraid of this thing quit charging, and now we're in the middle of the woods, or we forgot this particular thing, or somebody gets a Charlie horse and can't hike.
Well, I think what's going to define this, and what I'm really, really excited about with us doing this movie, is the fact that we have always been huge on asset management, on using the assets that we have to the fullest. Like if you have a penny, you make it $1 million type. Whatever's around us, we can use, and we are putting so much of our just stupid little skills into different scenes. Stupid, assets that we have, things we have laying around, are going to make it into this movie. And be part of the story. I dig that this is the ultimate asset management film, because if you take out what we spent on equipment, this movie's going to cost us nothing.
That's not true.
I mean, it's not.
Compared to a major motion picture, yeah. But I mean, this. I was going to say the exact opposite. I was going to say, if you've enjoyed Great American Wrestling or Wrestling with Ghosts or all these comedy bits, Hey Whoa Easy, we made everything for nothing. This actually, we're going to be in the hole about $10,000 or more on this movie. So I mean,
I'm already in the hole that much, but like I said, if you take the equipment out of it that we bought, but I don't consider that part of the movie yet, because we're going to use them for everything we do. We're going to use the lighting and everything for everything we do. It's not just for this movie. It's for Big and Funky Productions. Yes,
but that's the catalyst for everything is this movie, though.
That's true.
If we were still doing Wrestling with Ghosts and comedy throwaway skits, we wouldn't need your fucking camera. That's what I'm trying to say. Is this movie? If you've been entertained by what we've done for nothing, we've actually went in the hole about. Because I got to pay the actors and we got to feed them and bring water and
let's say $20K. When we did Hey Whoa Easies, you could put all the different things, prequels, sequels, everything that wraps up into Hey Whoa Easy would probably be about half an hour worth of stuff, and we did that for nothing. In no time. Imagine what we're going to do with $20,000 worth of something.
And this story is amazing. This is it's not just, Luke's a good writer, but it's true story. It's based on true stories, legends, and man, it's a good story, man. And we'll talk more about it as it goes on. But I mean, it's incorporating. There's something I've always wanted to capture on film. I'm a judoka, which means I used to do judo. I don't do it anymore, but I won the state championship in judo. And there's an actor named James Cagney, and there's going to be a fist fight scene that's going to be near the end of this movie, and it's going to replicate somewhat from the movie Blood on the Sun, and it's a pretty stiff, it's a pretty snug fight scene, and we're not doing it, we're not going to rip up the scene, but it's something that I've always wanted is a legitimate fight scene from people that actually know how to fight. Oh, Mama D's leaving, but
but that's what I'm talking about with asset management and everything. Right. Is we're pro wrestlers. Why wouldn't we have
That's exactly right.
And also, again, me and you both have talked about this before. We share, me and you love the same movies, but also hate a lot of the same movies. But one movie that we both do love is They Live with Roddy Piper. And David Keith, or is it Keith David? There's two of them.
Keith David's a black.
Keith David. And, middle of that movie, they did the same thing. They said, we got Roddy Piper. He's one of the best professional wrestlers in the world. Why don't we have a 5-minute fight scene with him, And they did. And that is the best pro wrestling match of the 80s is that and They Live. And
That's a good fight scene. It's a real good fight scene. And it's I dig it. And that's the vein, is actually people that know how to put their all into it and not pull punches, so to speak, or fake punches or whatever. So, well, brother, I'm gonna start making out with some of the women that just showed up, and I appreciate you.
Dude, I just heard your dog bark. Is that the woman that you're gonna make out with?
I'm not going to comment on any of these crazy questions and hyperbole. But folks, if you're watching this, and we have people that watch this after the fact, if you're watching it now, July 15th, Asy TV, ASY TV. It's going to be on Roku. It's going to be on Fire Stick. It's going to be on Apple Television. Use the promo code FUNKY, and you'll get to see not only our Wrestling with Ghosts episodes that we just made. There's going to be 2 of them. There's going to be 2 brand new It Happened to Me, which we produce.
I'm really looking forward to this next one you're going to bring up.
And then there's going to be a brand new Haunted Graves that we just shot in Gatlinburg. And we got crazy stuff on a downtown cemetery on camera. You won't believe it. So if you like paranormal stuff, check it out. Luke's right. We're going to be, once this movie settles down and we have more time, we're going to try to make a television show about a lot of our comedy skits and put those out there too. But for now, man, just check out Asy TV. July 15th, and if you do subscribe, which I hope you do, use the promo code FUNKY. That means me and Luke gets a little bit something back for all the money we've sunk into trying to entertain the peoples. And this Sunday we're shooting a hike, bro.
Yeah, and I'd like to say that this tattoo right here has been on my arm since 1993. It is a Confederate flag, and I am not from the South. I am from Chicago. My family's I'm a child of immigrants. And tomorrow it goes bye-bye. There will be no Confederate flag. I'll reveal what it is. You just follow me on Facebook or, see me next week. But that tattoo's been on my arm for, 26 years, and it's about to go bye-bye because I don't think that I shouldn't be representing something that's not my heritage, or if you want to call it heritage, but I also, it's not me. It's not my style. What's going to cover it is my style.
It's me. It's a big afro. It's a big afro funk master is what you told me.
Yeah, exactly. But Saturday, if you're in the Knoxville, Sevier County area, just look at my Facebook page. I'll share the event a couple times. We're going to be at a wrestling show. Gordo Gringo's going to be there. Our buddy Keith Gavins.
Chatterbox, is that the name of the bar?
Chatterbox. It's going to be a benefit for this kid Devin that we've known, and he's lived with cancer his whole life, and he's still just a young boy. So go pay your $10, even if you're going to walk in and leave. Do that just to help with his medical bills and everything, because his family, Lisa and his mom, Toofy, have been overwhelmed with these medical bills.
I bet.
So come on, So come on and just come out and give us help, or stick around. I'm taking on a guy who's actually a kid who's actually bigger than me, that's only maybe the third time I've ever wrestled somebody bigger than me. So it's gonna be fun, and he's pretty green. So I'm gonna embarrass him. I want to play some games with him in the ring. And
He's
Funky will
taller
be
than
there.
you?
Yeah, he's about 2 inches taller than me, and he just looks like a big baby. So big baby. But we got a lot of big fun stuff. We want you to follow the ride. Next Wednesday, we're going to do this show, and we will give you some updates on our filming and how it went, and how hot it was, and how hot Vinny was, and the spandex he's wearing for this movie.
Yeah, I'm not sure what you picked out for me to wear. I'm kind of worried about it.
But I'm so excited. We're in the middle of a big week. We've done a bunch of podcasts. This will be the last podcast until next Wednesday. But stick with us, man. This is going to be a fun ride, and I can't wait to show you everything that Vinny's, and me and Candy and Travis have put so much hard work into. A lot of it's coming into fruition on the 15th on Sci TV. That's all. You can also get that on the internet at scitv.com.
Baby, go to bed. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Big and Funky loves you. Peace out, y'all.